It says preparing. We know we don't believe it. We don't know. Maybe we are. Maybe we're just preparing. Maybe we're live. It always says things like this. Redirecting a Facebook page. Hello and welcome to Teen New Book Tuesday. I'm Lisa. I will be your librarian today. Me, my very official feeling microphone. Okay. So today we are going to talk about things and stuff and things, or more specifically, September's science fiction, fantasy, and horror, my personal favorite. But first, the meeting is being live streamed. I'm aware of that. You've told me that. You don't tell me well, but you do tell me often, don't you? Today's tea is a Coca-Cola because I was craving a Coca-Cola. So I went ahead and got that from downstairs instead of having a tea. But we should go ahead and start off with your favorite part of Tea and New Book Tuesday and mine, which is the book giveaway. I have 4 books to give away today. I do feel very official with the microphone, but it also wants to hit me. It works best if I'm like right here, but other people have to use this microphone. And I just realized I forgot to put on lipstick. So at least I don't have to worry that I might get lipstick on it. Anyway, enough microphone babble. I have 4 books. I think, okay. 3 of which are out, 1 of which won't be out until actually in September. And I've got a variety of different themes and things. As always, if you want one of these, put the name of the book you would like in the comments below, along with your MPL location for pickup, and I will get it out to you as soon as I see your comment, which for the people who put it up today is probably today. For the people who put it up later in the week, at the latest, I'll send them out on Saturday, which would make them arrive sometime Monday. But we shall see if you're interested in any of these. This one, Midnight Water City by Chris Mckinney. Let that get up there. This is in a future of underwater cities, artificially expanded lifespans, and a wealth gap that has outlived a near apocalypse. A world-weary detective investigates the murder of the enigmatic scientist who once saved the world. Year 2142, Earth is 30 years post a near collision of the asteroid Sesioseki. Akira Kimura, the scientist responsible for eliminating the threat, has reached heights of celebrity approaching deification. But now Akira feels her safety is under threat. So after years without contact, she reaches out to her former head of security, who has since become a police detective. When he arrives at her deep sea home and finds Akira methodically dismembered, the detective will risk everything, his career, his family, even his own life, and delve back into his shared past with Akira to find her killer. With a rich cinematic voice and burning cynicism, Midnight Water City is both a thrilling neo-noir procedural and a stunning exploration of research class, climate change, the cult of personality, and the dark sacrifices we are willing to make in the name of progress. So this feels very science fiction meets mystery, more specifically noir mystery. If you're interested in Midnight Water City, you would put that title in the comments. Next up is a nonfiction. So this is Twice as Hard. Navigating Black Stereotypes and Creating Space for Success by Opia Safaluke and Rachel Safaluke. Twice as Hard is an exploration of Black identity in the working world and a blueprint for success from entrepreneurial husband and wife Rachel and Opoyaya Safaluke. This inspirational business book incorporates advice from over 40 successful business people, entrepreneurs, and creators. Whether you are a member of the Black community starting out or working in a corporate world, or an ally looking for practical, honest advice, this book will empower, inspire, and educate. So that's Twice as Hard. Next up, I feel like we've talked about this one. Appleseed by Matt Bell. I think I might have mentioned it. Sometimes I will put a book in the main part of Tea New Book Tuesday. And then like a couple weeks later, I get a copy to give out. It'd be nice to give them out when I was talking about them, but we get the books when we get the books. Honestly, they're basically they're free gifts essentially from the publishers. So you can't complain too much if you don't get it as quickly as you would like. But this is, yes, okay. So it's in 18th century Ohio, two brothers travel into the wooded frontier, planting apple orchards from whom they plan to profit in the years to come. As they remake the wilderness in their own image, the long-held bonds and secrets between the two will be tested, fractured and broken, and possibly healed. 50 years from now, in the second half of the 21st century, climate change has ravaged the earth. Having invested early in genetic engineering and food science, one company now owns all the world's resources. But a growing resistance is working to redistribute both land and power. And in a pivotal moment for the future of humanity, one of the company's original founders will return to the headquarters, intending to destroy what he helped build. 1,000 years in the future, North America is covered by a mass sheet of ice and inhabited by one lonely being in a tech station on top of a glacier. In a daring, quixotic quest, he sets out across the continent in search of any remnant of civilization. Part speculative epic, part tech thriller, part reinvented fairy tale, Appleseed is an unforgettable meditation on climate change, corporate, civic, and familial responsibility, manifest destiny, and the myths and legends that sustain us. That's Appleseed by Matt Bell. And this one doesn't come out until September 21st. It is Bewilderment by Richard Powers. I think this would be considered literary, which is a genre defined more by the style of writing than the content of the plot, if that makes sense. So extremely carefully chosen words, long descriptions, that kind of thing. The astrobiologist Leo Byrne searches for life throughout the cosmos while single-handedly raising his unusual 9-year-old Robin, following the death of his wife. Robin is a warm, kind boy who spends hours painting elaborate pictures of endangered animals. He's also about to be expelled from 3rd grade for smashing his friend in the face. As his son grows more troubled, Leo hopes to keep him off psychoactive drugs. He learns of an experimental neurofeedback treatment to bolster Robin's emotional control, one that involves training the boy on the recorded patterns of his mother's brain. With its soaring descriptions of the natural world, its tantalizing vision of life beyond, and its account of a father and son's ferocious love, Bewilderment marks Richard Powers' most intimate and moving novel. At its heart lies a question: how can we tell our children the truth about this beautiful, imperiled planet? So that's Bewilderment, which is all sealed up too for some reason. So if you want any of those 4 books, as always, put the title in the description with your MPL location for pickup. I gotta have both. The book you want, the place it goes. Very important, both things. But we can move on to our slides. Share my screen with you so that we can see the covers of books that are headed for us. And MPL has already pre-ordered them to come out in September. I think I've talked about this before, but in case I haven't, normally the setup with the library and the distributor is that they try to get us most things before they come out. And that way we can mark them and put them in our system, and we can pull them out to be checked out, sort of put them on the floor to be checked out. The day they come out, COVID has really messed with that system a lot. It's getting better. We're getting closer and closer to when things come out, but it's going to take time for it to get back to what it should be. But in theory, I should be able to tell you what's coming out, and you could put it on hold and then get it the day it comes out. The same you would if you were buying the book. That's what we aim for. So September books on Teen New Book Tuesday. Today, we've already done our giveaways, and now we're going to talk about a couple of science fiction, several fantasy, because fantasy seems to be really big right now, and 2 or 3 horror books, one of which I have already requested from NetGalley because it just is clicking on my boxes. All right, let's start off with our sci-fi. Dare to Know by James Kennedy, coming out September 14th. Our narrator is the most talented salesman at Dare to Know, a prestigious and enigmatic company in the death prediction business. While he has mastered the art of death, the rest of his life is an abject failure. Divorced, estranged from his sons, and broke, he's driven to violate the cardinal rule of his business by forecasting his own death day. The problem? Apparently, he died 23 minutes ago. The only person who can confirm his prediction is Julia, the woman he loved and lost during his rise up the ranks of Dare to Know. As he travels across the country to see her, our narrator is forced to confront his past, the choices he's made, and the terrifying truth about the company he works for and his role there. Highly ambitious and totally immersive, this adrenaline-fueled thriller explores the destructive power of knowledge and collapses the boundaries between reality, myth, and conspiracy as it races towards its stunning conclusion. They've been describing this as dark matter meets annihilation. So if you liked either of those, it would be worth considering. If you want to check out Dare to Know, it comes out September 14th. All right, moving on to Light from Uncommon Stars by Rika Aoki. Shizuka made a deal with the devil to escape damnation. She must entice 7 other violin prodigies to take their souls and to trade their souls for success. I'm all over the place today. Sorry, guys. She has already delivered 6. When Catriona, a young transgender runaway, catches Shizuka's ear with her talent, Shizuka can almost feel the curse lifting. She's found her final candidate. But in a donut shop off a bustling highway in the San Gabriel Valley, Shizuka meets Lan, a retired starship captain, interstellar refugee, and mother of 4. Shizuka doesn't have time for crushes or coffee dates, what with her soul on the line. But Lan's kind smile and eyes like stars might just redefine a soul's worth. And maybe something as small as a warm donut is powerful enough to break a curse as vast as the California coastline. As the lives of these 3 women become entangled by chance and fate, a story of magic, identity, curses, and hope begins, and a family worth crossing the universe for is found. They've been describing this one as Good Omens meets The Long Way to a Small and Angry Planet. It received a starred review from Kirkus Magazine. They are not prone to giving out a lot of praise. So if you are interested in Light from Uncommon Stars, it comes out September 28th. Get a little bit of Coke before we move into the fantasy section. As I said, this is the largest number of books from the 3 categories. And this one is highly anticipated. No Gods, No Monsters by Cadwell Turnbull. One October morning, Lania gets the news that her brother was shot and killed by Boston cops. But what looks like a case of police brutality soon reveals something much stranger. Monsters are real, and they want everyone to know it. As creatures from myth and legend come out of the shadows, seeking safety through visibility, their emergence sets off a chain of seemingly unrelated events. Members of a local werewolf pack are threatened into silence. A professor follows a missing friend's trail of breadcrumbs to a mysterious secret society. And a young boy with unique abilities seeks refuge in a pro-monster organization with secrets of its own. Meanwhile, people start disappearing. Suicides and hate crimes increase, and protests erupt globally, both for and against the monsters. At the center of a mystery no one thinks to ask. Why now? What has frightened the monsters out of the dark? The world will soon find out. This is going to be book 1 in a fantasy series. It has already received starred reviews from Library Journal, Kirkus, and Booklist, which means it's probably on those magazines' shortlist for best book of the year or one of the top fantasy books of the year. If you are interested in No Gods, No Monsters, it comes out September 7th. I think I might ask for that one on NetGalley too, because yeah, I just feel like that might be really interesting. Okay, moving on. Another fantasy title, Among Thieves by MJ Kuhn. Oh, no, don't get ahead of me. I gotta go back. Where are you? There we go. Among Thieves. In just over a year's time, Raya Kutela has already earned herself a reputation as the quickest, deadliest blade in the dockside city of Kerouac, not to mention the sharpest tongue. But Raya Kutela is not her real name. For the past 6 years, a deadly secret has kept her in hiding, running from town to town, doing whatever it takes to stay one step ahead of the formidable guildmaster, the sovereign ruler of the 5 kingdoms of Thamor. No matter how far or fast she travels, his servant never fails to track her down. But even the most powerful men can be defeated. Raya's past now leads directly into the heart of the guildmaster's stronghold, and against every instinct she has, it's not a path she can walk alone. Forced to team up with a crew of assorted miscreants, smugglers, and thieves, Raya must plan her next move very carefully. If she succeeds, her freedom is won once and for all. But unfortunately for Raya, her new allies are nearly as selfish as she is, and they all have plans of their own. I love the idea that this one has a crew of miscreants, smugglers, and thieves. That always leads to wonderful storytelling. This is also described as perfect for fans of Six of Crows. If you are interested in Among Thieves, it comes out September 7th. You know how I say there's always a date within the month when everyone wants to put out their books for some reason? In September, it's the 7th. I don't get why. I guess if you're going to be after Labor Day, then just be after Labor Day. Do we have a Tuesday before Labor? I don't think we do. I think it is the 7th, because I think Labor Day is like the 6th. I don't know. For some reason, most things are coming out the 7th. Moving on. Empire of the Vampire. Again, this is a fantasy novel by J. Kristoff. We begin with a poem. From holy cup comes holy light. The faithful hands set world alight. And in the 7 martyrs' sight, mere man shall end this endless night. It has been 27 long years since the last sunrise. For nearly 3 decades, vampires have waged war against humanity, building their eternal empire even as they tear down our own. Now only a few tiny sparks of light endure in a sea of darkness. Gabrielle de Leon is a silver saint, a member of a holy brotherhood dedicated to defending realm and church from the creatures of the night. But even the Silver Order can't stem the tide once daylight's failed us, and now only Gabrielle remains. Imprisoned by the very monsters he vowed to destroy, the last Silver Saint is forced to tell his story, a story of legendary battles and forbidden love, of faith lost and friendships won, of the war of bloods and the forever king, and the quest of humanity's last remaining hope, the Holy Grail. This is also going to be book 1 of a new series. It's going to be all about this world where it's all dark and there are vampires. If you are interested in Empire of the Vampire, it comes out September 14th. All right, now for something completely different, but still fantasy, because fantasy is a really broad genre. Under the Whispering Door by T.J. Klune. When a reaper comes to collect Wallace Prince from his own funeral, Wallace suspects he really might be dead. Instead of leading him directly to the afterlife, the reaper takes him to a small village. On the outskirts of the path through the woods, tucked between the mountains, is a peculiar tea shop run by a man named Hugo. Hugo is the tea shop's owner to locals and the ferryman to souls who need to cross over. But Wallace isn't ready to abandon the life he barely lived. With Hugo's help, he finally starts to learn about all the things he missed in life. When the manager, a curious and powerful being, arrives at the tea shop and gives Wallace 1 week to cross over, Wallace sets about living a lifetime in 7 days. By turns heartwarming and heartbreaking, this absorbing tale of grief and hope is told with T.J. Klune's signature warmth, humor, and extraordinary empathy. If you're interested in Under the Whispering Door, it comes out on September 21st. All right. And again, something completely different. I had this in the romance category, and then I moved it to here because romance was kind of full. Was romance full? I have no idea. Not only do I not remember last week, I don't remember this morning. So, anyway, it wasn't romance and now it's here. It definitely has fantasy elements, and you can make a case for it being in either genre, but ultimately it probably belongs in both. This is the X Hex by Aaron Sterling. 9 years ago, Vivian Jones nursed her broken heart like any young witch would. Vodka, weepy music, bubble baths, and a curse on the horrible boyfriend. Sure, Vivi knows she shouldn't use her magic this way, but with only an orchard hayride scented candle on hand, she isn't worried it will cause him anything more than a bad hair day or two. That is until Reese, descendant of the town's ancestor, Breaker of Hearts, and annoyingly just as gorgeous as he always was, returns to Graves Glen, Georgia. What should be a quick trip to recharge the town's ley lines and make an appearance at the annual fall festival turns disastrously wrong, with one calamity after another striking Reese. Vivi realizes her silly little X Hex may not have been so harmless after all. Suddenly, Graves Glen is under attack from murderous wind-up toys, a pissed-off ghost, and a talking cat with some interesting things to say. Vivi and Reese have to ignore their off-the-charts chemistry to work together to save the town and find a way to break the breakup curse before it's too late. Aaron Sterling is actually a pseudonym for New York Times bestselling author Rachel Hawkins, who is also, by the way, an Alabama author. I don't know why she's using a pseudonym. I don't think this is like hugely different from her other books. She's written some YA under Rachel Hawkins, but she's also written some adult stuff under there too. I think she wrote the other woman upstairs, or I don't know. It was a retelling of a classic story whose name I can't remember. At any rate, she wrote this, and she wrote it under the name Aaron Sterling. If you are interested in the X Hex, it comes out September 28th. All right, we get to move on to my genre, horror. Oh yeah. Oh no. Did I lose? Yep. I lost the description for this one. This has been described. No. That's the last one was described that way. Well, let's just talk about the way this has been described. This is The Haunting of Lee Harker by Darcy Coates. Darcy Coates is an author whose name I'm probably mispronouncing. As we know, I mispronounce most names. I'm just not good with these things. But is also a New York Times bestselling author, of course. Lee Harker's quiet suburban home was her sanctuary for more than a decade, until things abruptly changed. Curtains open by themselves, radios turn off and on, and a dark figure looms in the shadows of her bedroom door at night, watching her, waiting for her to finally let her guard down enough to fall asleep. Pushed to her limits, but unwilling to abandon her home, Lee struggles to find answers. But each step forces her towards something more terrifying than she ever imagined. A poisonous shadow seeps from the locked door beneath the stairs. The handle rattles through the night, and fingernails scratch at the wood. Her home harbors dangerous secrets, and now that Lee is trapped within its walls, she fears she may never escape. Everyone has like their line they don't cross with things they want to read, because whatever you read sort of takes up space in your head, and you embrace, or at least entertain, that author's voice for a while. I love horror, but I do kind of draw a line at a woman being stalked or disturbed while she is home alone. For some reason, that's the point where it gets a little too real for me. And I'm like, Having said that, I mean, this is everybody's nightmare. Having a dark figure looming in the shadows of your bedroom door at night, that's some scary stuff. If you are interested in getting all kinds of scared, The Haunting of Lee Harker comes out September 7th. Next up, second to last, is The House of Dust by Noah Broyles. Deep in the heat and silence of rural Tennessee, down an untraveled road, sits the forgotten town of Three Summers. Mere miles away on an overgrown river island stands the house that once presided over the grand plantation of Angel's Landing, moss-draped, decrepit, waiting. Failing crime writer Bradley Ellison and former prostitute Missy Holiday are drawn to the place, fleeing a world turned against them. For Brad, it was his work. He must find a compelling story before the true crime magazine he writes for judges him expendable. For Missy, it's recuperation. 4 years at the club have left her drained. But the price of peace is high, and soon Brad and Missy discover that something hides behind the quiet. Something moves in the night, something that manifests itself in bizarre symbols and disturbing funeral rites. Something that twists back through time and clings in the dust of the ancient house, a presence they must uncover before their own past catches up with them. This is this author's first book. It's a debut horror novel. If you are interested in The House of Dust, it comes out September 28th. Okay, as I was doing my notes for this, sorry, I just saw something on the cover. As I was doing my notes for this, I decided I want to go ahead and ask NetGalley for this one. I may go back and ask them for one of the fantasy novels from earlier, but I looked at the cover and realized that the quote in the circle is from Joe Hill, who I absolutely love. This book, The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward? Who knows? I don't know. I have no idea. It's one of those things, you see something in print and you think, oh, that's that person's name, but you don't try to pronounce it in your head. And even then, it doesn't matter. Look up Ward. That's the search term you need anyway. But this has been described as Gone Girl meets The Haunting of Hill House, which those are two of my favorite books. So this is deep in my wheelhouse. And I have been avoiding reading it, thinking, oh, I'll wait till this one comes out because I don't need to keep asking for things from NetGalley when I can't quite get them read in time. But I'm like, oh, this looks good. This looks very good. Okay. This is the story of a serial killer, a stolen child, revenge, death, and an ordinary house at the end of an ordinary street. All these things are true, and yet they are all lies. You think you know what's inside the last house on Needless Street. You think you've read this story before. That's where you're wrong. In the dark forest on the end of Needless Street lies something buried, but it's not what you think. This already got a starred review from Publishers Weekly. If you, like me, are anticipating this book, The Last House on Needless Street comes out September 28th. If NetGalley gives me an early copy and I do end up reading it, I will try to tell you guys what I think. I'm currently reading Sylvia Moreno Garcia's Dark Certain Things, I think is the name of it, which is a vampire novel. It's very well written and interesting. I'm not far enough in it to know exactly what's going on yet, but I will try to make this one what I read after this. Although I want to read Right for Witching. I don't know. Well, I'm planning to travel in a couple weeks, in theory. And I'll need something on my Kindle when I do that. And this will be on my Kindle. So that may be when I end up reading it, but we shall see. So that was all of our September science fiction, fantasy, and horror, except for 3, which I put in a discussion post on our Goodreads Tea and New Book Tuesday group go join that or go search it out if you'd like to find out. It was 2 fantasy series updates and 1 science fiction series update. If you haven't signed up for the newsletter, I think you all probably have, but if you need to, the link is in the description below. Next week, we are going to already be in October. We're going to do October hits. Then we would probably take a week off because I don't have enough time to prepare a show for the Tuesday after Labor Day. I will be back the week after that. And I think these are all the things. So now I gotta stop sharing so I can see what, there we go. All right. I will see you guys next Tuesday.